Got it. I'll soften the narration, deepen the emotions, add small human imperfections, inner thoughts, pauses, and sensory details, the kind that make it feel lived in and real, not dramatic for drama's sake. Still gentle, still suggestive, still fade to black, but more human. Easy. This is my first time. Clara didn't expect the ranch to smell the way it did. Warm earth, old wood, sun-dried grass.
Can't sleep.
It wasn't romantic like in movies.
This is nice.
It was honest,
Yeah, it is.
real, the kind of place where nothing pretended to be more than it was. That was probably why she came. The city had made her feel like she was always late to her own life.
I love you too.
Everyone else seemed to know when to love, when to leave, when to leap. Clara had spent years watching from the sidelines, telling herself she'd catch up someday. Ethan Hale didn't look like someone who rushed anything.
I know.
He walked slowly,
It hurts
spoke
too
carefully,
much.
and
We'll get
never
through it.
filled silence just to
I've
make it
missed this.
disappear.
Me too.
The first
You look
time he shook
beautiful.
her hand, his grip was firm but not possessive, and he let go a second earlier than expected, as if he was always aware of where his presence ended and someone else's comfort began. She noticed things like that. Days passed in a rhythm that felt older than both of them. Mornings started early. Work was physical, sometimes exhausting, sometimes quietly satisfying. Clara's hands blistered, her muscles ached, and for the first time in years, she slept without her thoughts racing ahead of her. Ethan checked in on her without hovering. "You good?" he'd ask, simple as that. And somehow, the question meant more than just work. Evenings were her favorite. The porch, the sky slowly dimming, the sound of insects filling the gaps between words. They talked about small things, where she grew up, why she left, how he ended up staying when others didn't. He never pried. She never felt examined, but there were moments, lingering looks, hands brushing by accident and not moving away fast enough. Clara felt them like a quiet question hanging in the air. She didn't trust herself to answer it right away. The night it happened didn't feel planned. The others had gone inside. The air was thick with summer warmth, the kind that sticks to your skin. Ethan leaned on the fence beside her, close enough that she could feel his presence without him touching her. "You okay?" he asked again. She swallowed. "Yeah, I think so." The truth sat heavy in her chest. She was tired of being careful in ways that only kept her lonely. Tired of waiting for perfect conditions that never came. She turned to him, heart pounding. "Easy, this is my first time." The words felt exposed once they left her mouth. Vulnerable, real. Ethan didn't smile. He didn't tease. He didn't move closer right away. Instead, his expression softened, like he understood exactly how much that admission cost her. "Then we don't rush," he said quietly. "And we stop the second you want to." That was it. No speech. No promise he couldn't keep. She nodded, unable to trust her voice. When he reached for her hand, he did it slowly, like he was giving her time to pull away. She didn't. His palm was warm, rough from work, steady in a way that made her chest loosen. Inside the house, the light was low. The walls creaked softly, like they were used to holding secrets. Ethan paused again, searching her face, checking, not assuming. She stepped forward this time. The kiss wasn't urgent. It was careful, almost tentative, like both of them were learning something new in the same moment. Clara felt nervous, yes, but also safe. More than safe. Seen. "It'll be over quick," he whispered, meaning something gentler than the words sounded. That he wouldn't let her fear stretch longer than necessary. She laughed softly, surprised by herself. "I don't want quick." Something shifted in his expression then, warmth, amusement, something deeper. "Okay," he said simply. What followed wasn't dramatic or perfect. There were pauses, quiet reassurances, moments where she laughed at herself and moments where she had to breathe through nerves. Ethan stayed present through all of it. He listened, not just to her words, but to her body, her hesitation, her trust. That was what stayed with her most. Later, lying beside him, the world felt calmer than it ever had. Not because something had ended, but because something had finally begun. She didn't feel like she'd crossed a finish line. She felt like she'd stepped into herself. Ethan lay staring at the ceiling, thoughtful, one arm resting near hers without claiming her. When she turned her head toward him, he glanced down and smiled, small, real, unguarded. "Still okay?" he asked. She nodded. "Yeah, I really am." Outside, the ranch was quiet. Steady, waiting for morning the way it always did. And for the first time, Clara wasn't afraid of what came next. "If you want, I can. Make it even more intimate emotionally. Add more internal monologue, or shift it to a slower, longer 1,200-1,500 word version." Just tell me the vibe.